Now then, people, it's Joe, it's all Leeds TV. I'm just laughing at Dad busting the moves out in the bottom corner. That's what I'm like every time.
You
just get going, don't you? You start jigging away. Jam-packed show for everyone tonight. It's obviously the big match preview ahead of Southampton at Ellen Road. One game I'm really looking forward to. The last team that we need to play. Obviously, we've played everyone now, so Southampton's the only team yet still to play. So I'm really interested to get the guys' thoughts on that game. We've got loads to get through as well. The fact that Bielsa's press conference happened today and he said some amazing things. And of course, it looks like, you know, the end is in sight. We could be back at Ellen Road very soon. It looks like we're definitely going to be there next season anyway. We might squeeze in, if you're lucky enough, that one game left at the end of the season, but we're definitely going to be back at Ellen Road, you know, for the, you know, foreseeable future. Hopefully, you know, fingers crossed. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm really excited. But let's have a quick chat about the guests. So we've got Scott from Backyard TV. How you doing, mate? I know you won't mind me mentioning, but you had a bit of an elf scare.
No.
Is everything good, brother?
As well as it can be. You know me, I just kind of laugh it off, and to be honest, had I not have went to the hospital the next morning, I wouldn't even knew what had happened. So I think I kind of got lucky, and it's given me it's given me a bit of an eye opener and changed the old diet. So I'm only eating one Big Mac a day now.
Yeah, good lad.
Extra lettuce.
No nuggets. He's dropped the nuggets with the meal.
Yeah. Well, even if I half them, just half nuggets.
Yeah,
half Big Mac.
Yeah, you'll be all right, mate. Just do that. Yeah, and save the other half for later when you get a little bit peckish. Just do it like
exactly. Yeah.
Are you doing all right though?
Definitely. Yeah, doing grand. Couple of wee walks and things, and it's just been a lot of rest. Just trying to get all the things.
Why are you not in the backyard as well? Obviously, backyard going from strength to strength. What are you doing?
Too cold. I'm not even going to try and be manly. It's too cold. There's no door on the back of the yard. I know, but I don't want to get frostbite and all. And there's nobody in the house at the minute, so I thought, you know what, I'll do it in the warmth of the house.
Introduce us to your friends as well. We were just chatting off there, and Scott's got some friends behind him. What are they, tortoise or turtles?
They're Herman's tortoises.
What are they called again?
So the one with 2 dots on her back is Shelter Costa. And the one with the 1 dot is Pablo Hernandez.
Oh, that's really
great. Although one of them's probably going to be, well, no, not one. One's going to be, well, they're both going to be sold, but one's going to be bid a fond farewell, and one's going to be like, yeah, on your bike, son, get back to championship. Sorry, Helder.
I don't know. I think Helder might still do something.
He might do, mate. He might do. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek. He does, man. You know, against Wolves, I was willing him to do well. Chance dropped to the feet that he should have scored for me. I think Phil will be able to give us, hopefully, might be able to give us the specific XG on that specific chance. Can you go that far? We've got debutant tonight, guys. Phil, hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more of him if he agrees to after tonight. You might want to pack it in. Do you know what I mean? Phil used to work at Opta. Tell us a bit about yourself, mate. How you doing?
I'm all good, mate. So yeah, I worked at Opta for 6 years. Best job in the world. Unfortunately, the whole operation moved abroad last March, so we all got made redundant, which was obviously rubbish. Then coronavirus happened, so life's got pretty shit since then. But you know,
look at it now. Look at it now.
Yeah,
it's silver lining.
Can't get any worse, can it? So yeah, just at the moment writing about football, trying to get back in, make sure I never have to go work at Tesco. Sorry, anybody that works at Tesco. I just want to work in football.
Yeah, I was going to say other providers are available, and also if you do work at a shop at a supermarket, it's totally fine as well.
Yeah, by all means,
Key workers, man. Key workers. Great to have you with us, though, Phil, and hopefully you'll be able to give us some actual football knowledge instead of mine and these guys' ramblings, you know, because we're pretty woeful at the best of times.
Yeah.
But we've... what's that? Did you say that?
Which? You said woeful at the best of times with knowledge. That's us. If you've seen a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire video.
Yeah,
You weren't as thick as Mickey and Rob, though. I have never encountered any two people that just haven't a clue. You two came off pretty smart after them too.
Well, that's why I was really glad that happened, to be quite honest.
I mean, for those that are asking, the reason Oscar isn't here is because he ran off with $1 million that we won last night, and he's off in the sunset with it. If you don't know what we're talking about, Phil, basically there was a Leeds United edition of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So we did you see it all?
Yeah, I've seen it. Don't worry.
Oh, good.
All over social media, mate. Don't worry.
Oscar's a way to buy a ginger lion.
Yeah. In fairness, I've never, and I don't know if this is sacrilege, I said it on the stream, I've never heard that specific Billy Bremner chant sang at Ellen Road. I haven't.
Neither have I.
Tiger, I was like, it's not tiger. I was going, it's a lion, man, Scottish lion. But there you go. It is what it is. But you know, I won $1 million, so I'm not bothered.
You ruined it. No, you've done the spoiler.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm assuming the people that watch this channel will have watched it anyway. To be fair, it was great crack, and as I say, if you haven't seen it already, please check it out on Lewis's channel. We've got the weakest link coming up next as well, so that's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. But I haven't even done your introductions, lad and dad. How are you doing? Are you okay?
We're doing great.
We're all good.
We're doing great. First, back to homeschooling today.
It's been half term, hasn't it?
I haven't seen him all day because I've been working and lad's been working out. Did you get your homework in?
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to get any more emails.
Every bit of work done. Don't worry.
I get all the emails saying he hasn't handed this in. Lad hasn't handed it. We call him Lad at school as well.
It's just my name. Just
Lad. No, but we're all good. Cheers, Joe. Thanks for having us on, mate. Because there's loads to talk about after that conference today, right?
Yeah, absolutely loads to get through. And like I say, I listened to your pod today. I'm assuming you'll have your big match well, if you call it a match preview, but you'll have your match preview out in the morning.
I give you a sneak peek today on this.
Oh, really? Yeah, a little sneak peek. Good. All I was buzzing about is that I got to hear the here comes the money. As soon as it comes on, I'm like, yes, I'm buzzing.
Yeah. We ever talk about the 49ers, we drop that banger every time.
Yeah, here comes them. I love it. Right, okay. Let's have a chat about it then, Dad. Do you want to start us off? Obviously, Bielsa's press conference today. Some absolute gems coming, from it. Even I think my favourite thing was when he was talking about Yorkshire as well. You know, I'm not from Leeds, but I'm from Halifax and Yorkshire, and I've got my Yorkshire rolls on me and stuff, and it's in there, you know. So to hear the big man himself, all the way from Rosario, Argentina, talking about Yorkshire as a place and just how privileged he feels to be managing this club. It was amazing. And this is why I just love the man so much. That's why I've got his face tattooed on my leg. To me, he is the Messiah. He's God, man. But it was amazing, wasn't it, mate?
Did you see the picture of that shed in a field somewhere and someone's whacked on the side? That's just the effect he's having on us, though, right? And he seems to have had that effect anywhere where he stays for a long period of time. And, pick your favorite quote from today. He was absolutely like dropping bangers left, right, and centre, wasn't he? You know, that one about I didn't take Leeds to the Premier League. I could manage in the Premier League thanks to Leeds. Absolute blinding comments where essentially what do you take from it? Let's be cold, make it black and white. This guy loves working for Leeds United. And I think that goes down to Radrazani. And the team he's put together there. I mean, we've all seen the documentary with Radrazani, and obviously he's never going to be made because he's behind the making of the flipping thing. He's never going to be made to be a tyrant, even if he is one. But I think Bielsa and everything he was saying, it's all about the clubs. Now, there's a reason he's probably never been to Man United or an Arsenal or anything like that, because he wants to go in and do it a certain way.
Yeah.
Man United won't let him do that. But Radrizzani has said, I will support you in every which way I can. I've got limitations, but I will build bunk beds at Thorpe Arch. You know, I will go spend 300 grand and give you a new pitch when you're not happy with it. You know, those bits, I think, are the bits that pull Bielsa in. And Leeds from day dot have played a blinder on that front. An absolute blinder from Angus Kinnear going out there with Horta to Argentina. They've managed Bielsa fantastically. Even we always thought these guys owed us big time after the Heckingbottom thing and the Christiansen thing. And, you know, I know not everyone in this room will be a fan of Gary Monk, but, you know, Lad and I were. You know, Lad especially was the first time he saw success under a league manager.
It's easy now with hindsight, but at the time, Dad, I didn't want Gary Monk to go to Middlesbrough. No, not a chance.
And it didn't feel like a failure when you know, hang on a minute, Rads, how come you've let him go? The one manager that's given us a buzz since Simon Grayson, and you're letting him go like that. And then they've just, you know, the Bielsa thing just shows what a class act Radrizzani actually is. And you know, and I think that can't be forgotten. But amazing, Bielsa forever. He's never going anywhere. It was brilliant.
Get the limb going.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Someone's just asked there, do you think he'll get a statue? I mean, I would give him a statue, but you think he was there? Eh?
With it sitting on his bucket.
Yeah.
He already has one. The bronze bomber.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. To be fair, there's little you can get little ones.
Garden gnomes, can't you? Yeah, garden gnomes.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've had a few pictures sent, to be fair, of them. Like, I think Chris Kelly, who comes on this, sent me a picture of him. Not of him, sorry, in the gym. He has a gym in his garage, and he's got like Bielsa sat there watching over him, and he says, "I make sure I have it there so that I know I need to work out because Bielsa's got a watchful eye over me."
You should have Bielsa on his bucket, a huge Bielsa at the top of Beeston Hill, just looking down.
That'd be scary.
Like miles around.
It's like cast a shadow over Ellen Road.
Like a big sundial. Like just look down at Ellen Road.
Like what was it, that Trojan horse? Are we talking that size?
Yeah, that size. But you know, like the Jesus, you know, like that.
Like a Brazil.
The Christ the Redeemer.
Yeah, Christ the Redeemer.
Yeah,
just a big blue bucket.
It would be amazing. I mean, for those that don't know, I think I've got some of the quotes that he mentioned today. He said, "I don't imagine my professional future. Nothing is better than what Leeds represents as a job." He went on to say, "If they want a decision before the end of the season, I will respond, but I will tell them that they should consider what happens in this period, i.e. wait till this season's done." But for me, I'm like going, I don't know what you think, Phil. I'm thinking, just push him for the decision now. Then let's get it done.
In a nutshell, he's trying to say, like, you know, between now and the end of the season, what if I get it wrong? You might want to sack me, mate. You could get this as wrong as you like. I don't care. I want you to stay. I want you to have my children. Like, please don't leave. Please don't leave. This is, you don't have any idea how bad this was before you got here. This was terrible, man, for a very long time. Like, we need you to stay. Please don't go. The day that he leaves, like, today's announcement puts a bit of distance between that thought having to enter our minds again. But, like, my missus has a cat, and she always has this weird little thing where she's like, I cry when I think about, well, how am I going to feel when my cat dies? I'm like, the cat's 5. You've plenty of time left. So with Bielsa leaving, if that was to happen tomorrow, I want this entire city to hold a funeral because that's what the man deserves.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'll come out my house. It'll be another lockdown for me. I'll be crying. Like,
we're talking state funerals, aren't we? That's what we're talking about.
He can have guns and the army out. Like, just make him stay. Give him a statue now. Give him the keys. Like, let him have it. It's fine.
Yeah, big time.
It's true. It's so true. Like I say, I worship the guy. I keep saying and people get stick for it unnecessarily. I may add, but when people go to Wetherby or they walk on this walk that he walks between his home and Thorpe Arch, or they pop up at the Costa, it's on my to-do list, man, because I want to meet the man before he does go back. You know, I do, because once he's gone back, probably that opportunity is gone. You know, I'd even consider that. I'd like to do a pilgrimage, you know, to Newell's Old Boys and just do that. And it's true though, and just how ingrained he is in Leeds United and the fans that even. Can you imagine me saying I want to go to this, you know, South Coast to see where Warnock lives and that? It's just not happening. He's just an amazing human being. Scott, what are your thoughts on it, mate?
Yeah, I love the man. Love the man. I think for a long time the coming back to the Premier League seemed a bit like a pipe dream. You know, we believed one day would be there, but I don't think we ever truly deep down went, it'll be within our lifetime. And then when Bielsa came, and I think, see, for a lot of new fans that we have got now that we're in the Premier League, because that happens, you know, you're going to get new fans when you're in the Premier League. I think looking at that there, that's their first taste of how humble and modest Bielsa is. But I think our first taste of it was when he first came and he made the team go and pick up litter. And whenever he told Radzani he didn't want to stay in a 5-star hotel, he wanted a 1-bedroom bed set above a sweet shop. You know, for me, there's so many things that just makes me think, I don't think he could ever be replaced. You know, and I know that we've obviously got a short list of different managers Leeds would like to take over the reins once Bielsa eventually does go, because he will go eventually. Don't think it'll be anytime soon, but he's irreplaceable. And from him saying things like he said today, you know, it just puts it into perspective. Whenever you get your pants in a bunch, when you see things on social media of Man United want Bielsa, or Chelsea's wanting Bielsa, and all this, and you're going, really, is that right? And then all their fans are convinced because they've got the money and the prestige that he's going to go to them. That's not what Bielsa's about.
No.
And I think we as Leeds United fans are the only fans that realise that, you know, even still, you get when you say, look, it's not about that, and people say, yeah, but listen, if a Man United kid, no, he wouldn't. Trust me, it just wouldn't happen. Like, he's not about that. And it was amazing stuff. And the longer we've got him, the better. I think the longer we have him in the Prem, it suits us better, because obviously the club will be in a stable position. Like, my worry would be if he were to only do one season and then go, we could arguably say with the squad, if we're being honest, on paper, it's not the best. And another manager might come in and not get off to a great start, and then we're looking, you know, over our shoulder a little bit. But, you know, with Bielsa, if he does 2 or 3, or maybe 2 seasons more, then we're going to be in a decent enough position to attract a decent coach. We'll have a much better squad. For me, we'll be knocking on that door of Europe for a regular, you know, season after season. That's just my opinion, but it's
hand on heart, Joe. I really do think he's going to be here for at least another 3 seasons, and I generally believe that at that point he will have us in a position that we will be fighting for Champions League spots. You know, and I think his successor. And I've said it all along. I've said it from his first season. I says when he leaves, Pochettino will take over, and I still think that. I really do think that when he goes, Poch will be taken over.
Poch might have won Champions League at this point, though, man. He might. You never know. He could have. I think we're looking.
You never know.
I think we'll be looking at people like Gabriel Heinze, Stevie Gerrard, people like that, possibly. You're not having Stevie Gerrard, Phil?
No, don't give me Gerrard, please.
No.
It's hard enough understanding Carragher. We don't need Gerrard as well.
But I do think
that is done for Rangers is unreal.
Looking at coaches on the continent that are adopting certain style of play that'll just fit in. There'll be no. What's that? Sorry, Heinze.
Yeah, Heinze could happen.
Yeah.
To be honest, Poch is one of the perfect people to take over from Bielsa, but at the same time, like you were just saying, he could have won a Champions League by then. It really depends on where we are and where the person is. To be honest, like I always think you don't need a name to take over from Bielsa. You need someone that is going to carry on his ethos. Like, as much as it might not excite people, Carlos Corberan's trying to do exactly the same thing right now.
Yeah.
He might not be the most exciting, but someone that you don't want, like Tottenham have gone from Mourinho, from Poch to Mourinho. That's a complete change of style. And look what happened. Yeah. So if you do it with Leeds and you go from Bielsa instilling what he's instilled for so long, and then you end up with something completely different, we'll end up back in League One. Yeah. So it's not about changing. It's about trying to build on what he starts and make it perfect when he'll give you all the tools, which is what he's doing now with the training ground and with how he sets everything up and how he's drilling it into the players at every single level. So realistically, moving forward, a Corberan could easily come in and follow that kind of template and have success. It doesn't need to be a Poch, really. I mean, Poch would be
the perfect shout. That's a perfect.
I agree with you, mate.
It'll be a natural progression on. I think I'll be brilliant.
I think I always, when I think about that, I always think of Stoke. And Stoke City stayed in the division.
Yeah,
playing a certain way under Pulis. They got above the station, thinking they could push higher up the table. They brought in Mark Hughes, spent all this money. Boom, see you later, gone. And probably back now at their level. I mean, that with all due respect, I don't think we're in that same conversation as a Stoke in terms of stature of club, etc. But you know what I mean? They ripped up the rule book and said, right, we're now going to try play decent football, and it went tits up. So I agree with Phil 100% about what's that? Sorry.
Don't get Mark Hughes in to play good football.
I know. You're so true.
No, but
he brought in all these rejects from Spain and just spent a lot of money, and obviously they had Bojan there for a little bit. He was going to be the next Messi and all this sort of stuff, and then
Stoke
Alona, yeah. I mean, Shawcross has just left there, hasn't he? He's just gone to Inter Miami, I think, after being there for 15 years. Yeah. Cool. Right. That's Bielsa chat. Let's have a little chat about, obviously, the fact that Boris, Nobed, whatever you fancy calling him, has now given us a route out of this lockdown. I mean, from a personal standpoint, I'm buzzing. I don't want to see the back of my kids, but I just want them to go get a proper education and start mixing with the friends again. My head feels like it's going to fall off. They're going to be back at school in 2 weeks. I'm absolutely buzzing. Not for me, but just to give them, because it must be tough for them as well, not seeing the friends. So that's a great thing. But just from a football standpoint, we could be back in the stadiums for the last game of the season, which unfortunately is West Brom.
You say that, but you could see a big win, so it wouldn't be that bad.
That's true, lad. That's true. I think they've said...
even if I can't get a ticket, I'm coming over and I'm just going to stand outside the ground. I'll not be able to get in. I'll just be standing there, just enjoying the atmosphere.
That's what we'll do. If you can't get a ticket, we're going to that game. Simple as that. It'll be amazing. I mean, you'd say about, going back to school. Lad, how do you feel about going back to school?
I mean, you're not really too bothered, really.
He's at a stage though where he's doing exams now. Mine is still in junior school, man. They're just like
education he's had is when we did Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the Leeds United edition. We learned loads. It was great.
I love that tweet where it said, "I took my lad to Leeds, but I cannot remember anything about it."
Wasn't it?
Brilliant. So West Brom. We was talking about it slightly off air. I mean, West Brom, their fans are not going to see a single Premier League game and get relegated, which was tough. That was always in my hand. Phil, exactly. But they could be on the end of a spanking. But it's just going to be good to be back, isn't it? And I think the most exciting thing for me is knowing that we're going to have another season in the Premier League, although some elements of the Leeds United fan base still think there's a chance we might get pulled into a relegation dogfight, which just isn't happening.
Lad, cover your ears. Fucking idiots.
I was looking, obviously, this is the Southampton preview, and we will touch on it now, but Southampton have got 1 point out of a possible 21. So out of the last 7 games, they have 1 point, right? And no, but the reason I did that, Phil, because I put my Leeds fan head on and I thought, can you imagine Twitter if we had 1 point out of a possible 20?
Yeah.
Like, it would be game over from a Leeds United perspective.
Yeah, no. Twitter and Facebook after Leeds games is just horrible. I get really bored of seeing like everybody jumping on individual players. I mean, I've got a mate in Canada who started randomly sending me barrages of abuse to send towards Melier, and I'm like, what are you on? Like,
wow.
It might just be my opinion, but I honestly think Melier is best goalkeeper we have had since Nigel Martin. I cannot understand why anyone would have a problem with him. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, the Arsenal game, it was terrible. But every other game this season, he is like, we would be in a relegation battle if we didn't have Melier. I'm going to be deadly honest with you. He's saved the point in so many big games with big saves. And like, obviously he's still got, I think it's the Southampton game is the last one before he turns 21. If he keeps a clean sheet tomorrow night, he is the new record holder in the Premier League era for having the most clean sheets under the age of 21.
Wow.
So,
really?
He currently tied with Joe Hart. Joe Hart went on to have 300 and odd career appearances for Man City, West Ham. Like, he won a Premier League, for God's sake.
Yeah, brilliant.
Like, Illan Melier, for me, in a couple of years, I imagine he will be taken over from Lloris as France's goalkeeper. You know, they've got Mbappe. They could be Melier could be winning a World Cup in a couple of years. Like, that's not even just someone giving him propaganda. That is a genuine fact.
Oh, like, I agree. You know what you're looking at? You're looking at a problem with the. Do you know the Melier problem we've got with our goalkeeper is keeping him.
Yeah,
is keeping him. I don't think we'll be able to keep him.
Realistically, though, like when you look at Leicester and what Leicester did with the likes of Kante and Mahrez, on even Danny Drinkwater, to be honest, buy people cheap. We have bought him for £5 million. As much as I don't want him to leave, if someone pays us 50 million quid for him and we've got 45 million quid profit and we've got a good enough scouting network now to be able to find a replacement, by all means, mate, that's fine by me. I don't want him to go, but
yeah, no, absolutely.
No, I agree. I just want to pick up, obviously, massive fan of the channel, comes on regularly, said Wigan had been on a 17 winless run until they beat us. Can't look at recent form, Joe. No, I agree. I wasn't looking at it from that standpoint. I was just more relating it to the relegation chat that we've seen on Twitter, etc. And I was just thinking, you know, for those that are still cautious, just remember that, you know, Southampton are 13th, you know, just below us in the table and have 1 point from, you know, a possible 21 available. And they're still in 13th. And I was just making that point that, can you imagine if we were on that sort of barren run? Literally, it would be an absolute minefield. But let's just go on to, you know, some of the key bits that came out from the press conference. Obviously, we're going to have no Rodrigo, no KP, which I think for me, I just thought it would be too much of a quick turnaround after Wolves anyway to get people fit and ready. And it looks like they could be, you know, earmarked for Saturday against Aston Villa, which is going to be a great game. But guys, I wanted to ask you, the fact that obviously no Rodrigo, no KP, what do we expect from Leeds United lineup-wise? Scott, are you all right to talk? Have the kids done one?
She has literally just started talking again, just as I was about to start talking.
Oh, really?
But no, do you know what? Here, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna suck up the cold. I'm gonna suck up the cold.
While Scott moves, well, let Scott move.
I thought it was Sheldon Costa getting involved.
Yeah, obviously, Phil, the fact that Saints like to go with a 4-4-2, two up top in some sort of capacity. Do you expect Bielsa to go to the 3-3-1-3? And who would be your lineup, mate? Because there's going to be, obviously, Alioski was dropped last time out. We've seen Roberts. Does Roberts keep his place? Will Llorente come straight back in for you? What's your opinion on it, Phil?
For me, just simply because it's the way he likes to do things, I would expect Llorente not to come in, to be honest. I would think he'd have to play under 23s games first. I mean, he has been thrown in before, and that ended after 8 minutes. So I don't really want to rush him back, and I'm sure Bielsa wouldn't either. As much as I'd love to see Ayling in his strongest position on the right-hand side, like, he's perfectly capable to play at centre-back. And if we are playing a back three, him, Struijk, and Cooper as a back three, not a problem. As much as I like Jamie Shackleton and I want him to play as many games as possible, I think in this formation, it's harder to fit him in. Yeah. So I would kind of expect Alioski to come in for Shaq. I mean, I'm not Bielsa. I could be wrong. But I'd imagine Alioski left, maybe Dallas right in that midfield three, and then Click sort of taking the Calvin role. And then obviously Roberts behind Bamford, Rafinha and Harrison as the front three.
Nice. Scott, do you have any opinions on that, mate? Now you're good to go?
Yes, I'm back home in the back end there. Well, what I had actually picked up on was a difference in the way he was describing Llorente last week. Last week he said Llorente was fit and he would be Mali's back, but today he's saying that Llorente is back. Now he went on to say about how Llorente and Koch have also played in the same role as Calvin. So I kind of thought, well, is he basically just telling us that Llorente is going to be playing in the Calvin role, and we're going to have that back four that was doing brilliant right before Arsenal? Although I would have Dallas in at left back, because I don't think Roberts should be going back to the bench. I think Roberts really, for me, he made a difference in his last two appearances. So for me, I'd be having Llorente in the Calvin role, and I'd be starting with Roberts and Dallas as well.
Yeah, what about Dad and lads? What are your thoughts?
I think that we could potentially see Llorente start, because purely for the fact that Southampton like to line up with the 4-4-2, and when two strikers play, we usually go into a three back. And I think what good, so I think Cooper and Llorente as your centre backs. Then you have Struijk at the CDM, which is pretty much a three at the back, really, because you'll have your Struijk sitting in, covering that. He won't really be getting forward that much. But I think apart from that, you're Ayling at right back because he is just best there. I think Dallas will play left back, and then you have your Tyler and Click in the middle. I think it will be, and then obviously Harrison on the left, Rafinha on the right, and Bamford up front.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Obviously, there is a load of different permutations last time, because I don't think any of us envisaged the change that happened on Friday. I didn't anyway. I didn't see Roberts coming in for Alioski and that being the change, if I'm being totally honest. So I was quite surprised by that. Do we think, Phil, Roberts deserves to stay in the side?
Depending on the formation, really, innit? As far as I'm concerned, it depends on the formation. I do think, honestly, the last couple of games that he's come on, there has been a difference in what we were seeing probably before Christmas. Yeah. It's been an upturn. I mean, as much as we joke about him, Helder Costa and Tyler Roberts, for me, both went through a bit of a phase where they were the prime focus of fan anger. And one seems to have turned it round in Tyler Roberts, and unfortunately for Helder Costa, that hasn't happened yet. That doesn't mean that it won't happen. Fingers crossed it will. We all will do well, but Tyler's doing a lot better. Realistically, again, it depends on position as well. Like with Tyler Roberts, what position does he want to play? I think he wants to be a striker. That's not going to happen. I think Bielsa sees him as a 10, and obviously with the Bielsa system, he's sort of got Tyler Roberts, Rodrigo now, and both of them would identify themselves as 9s. Then he's sort of asking them to play somewhere in between a 10 and an 8, and it's just it's like an 8.75, and nobody has a bloody clue what can do that role best.
I think Rodrigo was kind of his last few games, he made it look his own. And when he front at Crawley, he looked out of sorts. Yeah. When he went back to that position, I felt like, oh wow, Rodrigo's really owning that position now. He looked like a man who was in control of it. He knew what he was doing. He got it. He got what the responsibility was. And the Tyler Roberts thing is right now, I just don't see he's had some better performances, and what we're all like. We get super excited, don't we, when we see someone do better. I just feel like within that team, he's still quite far behind. I think his best chance is striker. I think that is his best chance to get in that first team regularly. Bamford gets injured, he gets played. And other than that, I think you could, I mean, and I might be distorted here, but I think Pablo Hernandez always does a better job when he comes on, to play that role for us as well. I think he always will. There's obviously something a bit deeper with the Pablo situation that we'll probably never ever find out about. But Tyler just seems to just be short all the time. Something like on Friday there was a few times he was on the ball and you went, "Here we go, exciting Tyler moment," and he played great. But then it was predictable, and the defender knew what to do with him, just knew where to take him, and he just doesn't have that unpredictable spark. A lot of the other people who are vying to get into that team. And you know what? I'd put Jamie Shackleton. Jamie Shackleton is more unpredictable than Tyler Roberts when he plays, the way he buzzes around.
Yeah, but in an attacking role, though.
Yeah, I think Shaq could play that far up front. I do. I think, I think the Shaq thing, there seems to be a shame with Shaq. Why? There were some moments I thought he looked great against Wolves, especially after 25 minutes with Click, and they really connected up. And I just thought, that's where you want that energy and that buzz. It is the middle. That is the middle. You can see Shaq Madison a nightmare.
But what I think Shackleton is like, I think he's like a Kante. He's small and he's great at running. He can win the ball back. He's just like a little battler in the middle of the park, really, to be honest. Get the ball, pass it to Click or something, let them do the play on,
He's got a bit of a touch on him as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think he played much better in the second half against Wolves.
Some bold.
We're always conservative in our measurement on Leeds and the players.
Quality. Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, look, I'd like to see Llorente come straight in now, and I get what Phil said about, he needs to be managed, but then how do we manage him? When do we bring him on? I don't know if, do you know what I mean? Unless he needs to play some under 23s, I'm not sure. But then again, if he did come on and bust himself again, then you're thinking, it's probably never going to work out for him. And obviously, I think Bielsa mentioned before about his own mental state as well. So there's something that maybe. He's
with Llorente, there's something special. He's coming. I think they really, really rate him. I think Bielsa and Porter and everyone think this guy is top class, and so he should be centre back for Spain, right?
Yeah.
And I think actually with him, they will always take the risk if they think he's available. I think they'll put him in. I think they'll go for it. Say what he can bring to that team. I think there'll be Bielsa will be get this lad on. He's my type of player.
And Kenny Cooper needs some time to gel.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see, obviously. I think if we look ahead, who's going to be that centre-back partnership? Is it going to be Koch and Strauch? Is it going to be Llorente and Strauch? Is it going to be Koch and Llorente, Cooper? There's loads of different permutations. But look, I think the quicker we can get Rodrigo, KP, Koch, and everyone back in this starting lineup, things are going to look up anyway. I know we've had 2 losses, humbling by Arsenal, but we can arguably say we deserve all 3 from the Wolves game just based on probably XG alone, Phil.
He's doing all right, isn't he, Phil? Coops is he not? Is Coops not doing great? I saw something put up today on social where Cooper is looking amazing in the stat.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Again, Cooper is one of these players that simply because he's been with us that long, he's had that nickname of League One Leon. People jump on him for no reason, and to be honest, what did he do wrong in the Wolves game? He had 3 chances where he should have scored. Ian Patrick Bamford, mate, that's not his job.
Yeah.
The actual job that he does and he's employed to do, first of all, as the captain, but second of all, as the left-sided centre-back. As much as I don't want to give any criticism to defence at all, because I genuinely thought that was a robbery against Wolves. Daylight robbery. They deserve nothing from that game, let alone a win. But, their goal came from, unfortunately, Luke Ayling on the right with Traore cutting in, and then he sort of doddles past strike, and then that's one from 30 yards. He doesn't run properly.
And Coops, did you see the rollicking Coops gave to Tyler?
Yeah, absolutely. Like
wonderful. He
Cooper
just
did nothing wrong.
mad. He was great.
I think over the last, probably back end since Christmas and onwards, I think Cooper's been brilliant. And there was like a who scored ratings team of the season, and Cooper was in that for the entire league. Like if you would have said that a year or two ago, playoff semi-final with Kiko when he was falling over each other. Liam Cooper, team of the year. You know what I mean? Like he's come on leaps and bounds over the last 6 months, and he actually looks like he belongs in the Premier League now, not League One.
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah, no, agreed. And it's mad, isn't it? Because I think it's frustrating. I agree with you, Phil. I think we obviously it's an open forum and we do the post match, and Cooper was unnecessarily getting a lot of stick because he missed 3 chances, but that's not his job. I know he should have scored at least one of them, but from a defensive standpoint, he didn't put foot wrong.
He should have scored them both, Phil. He should have scored at least one.
He could have scored one of them maybe, but like XG for the Wolves game, apparently, like I don't know if you know too much about XG. I don't know if you know how it's calculated.
I pretend I do, but I've literally got no idea whatsoever.
In a nutshell, if you watch a game of football and you go, right, that's a big chance, we should have scored there, just count that as one. It's a bit like watching boxing and tallying the points in your head before the end of a round. So you already know what the score should be.
Right.
And apparently the score should have been 3-1 to Leeds. So we had a 2 clear goal margin. We should have beaten them.
So it's like wizards and unicorns then. It's not real, is it?
It doesn't make any difference. It's not real.
Oh,
no, I get it though. I understand because obviously you could arguably say these two in there's the free header and also the back post where it's on like the volley and he's hit it at Rui Patricio. So I don't know, but then they mark them, don't they, based on it? If it was as here's what it is. So my head as well.
And how much of a is it? Like a penalty is still not actually a full 1. It's like a 0.6% is how likely you score from a penalty.
Oh, really? 0.6?
Oh,
so that would contribute to like your XG.
Oh, nice.
Right. I think we got 2.73. They got 0.91. So realistically, we got 3. They got 1.
Yeah. I think I'd read Cooper had a better XG than the Wolves side as well.
Yeah.
Ben. Won it then, right? Do we get 3 points?
We should do. We should have done, mate. We should have done. How they've got both, 6 points out of us is beyond me. I think we were.
They didn't even score in either game.
No.
2 own goals.
Yeah. So frustrating. Bruh. Just on, obviously, let's have a little chat about Southampton. Obviously, very similar to us. With Ralph Hasenhüttl in charge, they do like to. I think they call it the Gegenpress, don't they? But I think they're very much similar to us in that it's more about the sum of its parts than the individuals within the squad. They like to press. They've got a lot of injuries as well. And we were speaking to Southampton fans yesterday and they were making the point that he's got a pretty small squad. Right. And, they get a lot of injuries because he runs them into the ground a lot. And I made a lot of similarities with us and Bielsa, to be fair. Although because I tried to get from them, why is he running them into the ground? Like, they've had a drop off in terms of output, but Leeds United haven't in terms of their fitness levels. So I said there's obviously something wrong he's doing because we're very, very fit and doing similar sort of stuff as you, but still going till the 95th minute or wherever it may be. Do you know what I mean? So it was an interesting point.
Our players have been doing it for a couple of years now, though. I think this is something new for these Southampton boys. It's something new he's been trying with them, whereas with us, it's ingrained into our boys now. They've been doing it from the day our Bielsa came. I think that could be a big problem with Southampton is that if they've changed the way they're trained, if they've changed, what they've been used to, this could be a big, massive adjustment period for them, and it could cost them. Like it could cost them 3 goals tomorrow night whenever we absolutely stuff them.
Yeah. I just had to bring up that WWE reference. I've never seen it before, but you do actually look a bit like the Big Show.
It's a big show! Oh my God. Oh, I'll go back into my box now.
But no, from a Southampton standpoint, I think obviously Kyle Walker-Peters is out, so there's no recognised right back. I think they played Bednarak there and played their new signing Salisu, I think he was called, new centre back that they paid like 11 million for in the summer. Hadn't got in, and then obviously Kyle Walker-Peters drops out, and I think Bednarak's been playing at right back. They could go with Jack Stevens as well, which was mentioned, but I know the Southampton fans said they don't want that because if they do, they'll be, they were spanked last time he was in, I think. But that gives me real optimism, with Kyle Walker-Peters being out, because the fullbacks are very good. They have Bertrand and Kyle Walker-Peters, but if Kyle Walker-Peters is out and you've got a centre-back playing at right back, there's a lot of onus on Jack Harrison for me. And I just wanted to get your thoughts, Dad. Like, do you think Jack Harrison's had a little bit of a drop-off lately? Because I think we've not seen a lot from him. I do think against Wolves, a lot of it was due to the fact he had to deal with Semedo at that time, and I thought Semedo had a decent game and had a few opportunities himself, to be fair. But what do you make of Harrison of late? Do you think he's dropped off a little? We
mentioned this on the podcast. The guy's technique is second to none almost sometimes. You look at where he carries it. And there was just the Wolves game, I really picked up on his body language, and I know it sounds really wet, but he looks so sad at times. When things offer him, like he said, not even angry, just like deflated. And I just sense from him, is it more psychological with him at the moment? He just doesn't feel like he's getting the breaks or whatever, and I just sensed bad body language from him. I think actually, if you look at it, and again, Phil, you might have some stats on him. His actual performances aren't bad.
No,
he's doing well, but he has been subbed a couple of times. He's like Click. I think the similarities between Click and Harrison at the moment, and hearing that the right back for Southampton might not be there, and it's like a centre back going. That for me is lovely. I think for Jack, whack him on, get his confidence up, and he'll be flying again because he's fit enough.
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, with Harrison, I honestly don't see it. I mean, yes, I understand he's not scored in the last couple of games, not assisted in the last couple of games, but like you said, his first touch is unbelievable. He has got a bit of a habit of running into cul-de-sacs and sort of getting lost, but it's only a few games ago that he scored against Newcastle. Obviously, the last time we played Newcastle, the first time, absolute thunder bastard. He scored a few goals this season. None of them have been ugly goals. Like, he only scores beautiful goals. And I think that's the thing with Harrison. If we're playing in a bit of a bitty game and he's not going to get a tap in, that's not the way he plays. He likes, I mean, obviously everyone remembers Ayling's volley from last season, but the cross was Harrison. Yeah. The build-up was Harrison. And obviously, like, when you talk about Click getting bought off and Harrison getting bought off, usually with Bielsa at half-time, if Harrison comes off, you'll probably see Alioski coming off as well, because it's a full-blown catastrophic error of one side. He likes to give a lot of responsibility to Jackie. Obviously, you've got Rafinha on the right, who is forward. He's much better. It's not even a comparison. But going back, Jackie does a lot more defensive-wise, and he covers a whole flank sometimes on his own. So if that side isn't working, that can be a massive weakness. Like, right goes forward, left goes back. And if the two don't work, we can get absolutely molested, and we don't want to.
No. Great points, mate. I mean,
it's better than at that.
But I mean, to be honest, we have seen recently Rafinha committing to coming back a little bit more. Although it's not been perfect, there was the one against Everton, for example, where he probably should stop the cross, to be fair, for their first. But he has started getting involved. We've seen it against Wolves as well. He does come back, because I remember, I think it might have been the All Stats Aren't We boys that mentioned it, but it made a perfect sense at the time, because if you remember when Rafinha was coming in, we used to see Rafinha and Harrison switch wings a lot of the time, and it was so frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that was due to the fact that it was Rafinha not doing the donkey work, as it were, coming back all the time. And now he's doing that. We don't see any of that switch in the wings. Obviously, a key threat, massive threat from Southampton is going to be set pieces. They've got, James Ward-Prowse. I mean, we were speaking to a Southampton fan yesterday, and he said we would rather have a free kick on the edge of the box than a penalty. James Ward-Prowse is that good. We were talking off air, me and Phil. He's Beckham-esque. He's literally that good, And not only that, from taking free kicks, i.e. having shots at goal, his delivery from corners is unbelievable as well. And obviously, they have Vestergaard in there. I remember Vestergaard, I think he's got maybe three goals this season. It may be more, but I remember there was a period of time where everything he touched was going in the back of the net. And I remember saying, he'll probably score a hat-trick of headers against Leeds United, because we were woeful at the time, We just shipped them against
West Ham.
Newcastle, West Ham, yeah, exactly. Souček, he's another one, and it was too easy for them. So I think it's one area, Phil, we have to be really wary, not giving any silly free kicks, and obviously set pieces we need to be
That's not us, mate. We love a good cynical foul. We love giving away shitty free kicks that we shouldn't have given away for no reason. And you can guarantee if Helder Costa comes on as a sub, he will give one away, and Ward-Prowse will score. Yeah. I'd say usually with a Leeds United set piece situation, it would be more a worry of someone heading a ball. I'd rather they give away crosses, like free kicks in wide areas tomorrow. Just, they're not going to score. Well, the likelihood of them scoring a header from a free kick compared to a Ward-Prowse edge of the box free kick, give them the headed chance, man. Don't let them have that free kick there. Because like Eze's free kick for Palace against us earlier in the season, that will happen 99 times out of 100 if you give James Ward-Prowse a chance from there. Yeah. Like I say, that's 1 in a million. He's never done that before. I mean, he's a great player. But he's not Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse will do that every time.
Yeah. You bang on that. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's that good. Scott Gordon's just said, I'm getting motion sickness. Are you all right, mate? Is everything okay?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I've never had this problem on the internet. I don't know what's going on. I blame my kids. Just blame the kids.
Yeah.
That's what I do as well, mate, for anything.
It should be all school week shit.
But yeah, Dad, Phil makes some great points, doesn't he, there, about Ovi. I think, for me, I think it's frustrating that every game now, the same stats pedalled out, Leeds are woeful at defending set pieces. Now, I do agree up until the Burnley game. Then from the Burnley game, we've seen Melier start coming for crosses. There was a point where he would just stay on his line. We'd get beat in the air, because we are pretty woeful in the air, I believe, anyway, But then he'd be rooted to his line, and they'd end up in the back of the net. Whereas since that Burnley game, he came for them. If you remember, Burnley peppered us for a period of time, and how we won that one, it was crazy. But there has been a definite upsurge in the way we defend set pieces. Is it an area that worries you for the weekend, Vestergaard, James Ward-Prowse?
I mean, the Ward-Prowse thing, right, lad?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think, I think we can deal with headers. I think, like you said, we're defo better off set pieces. Because I think, because that point at the Burnley game, it's, just like, okay, Burnley, they're like a set piece team practically. They just have big lumps and they're just trying to head it into the back of the net, But I think we will be fine with the wide free kicks that we do concede, but on the edge of the box, I think that's where the worrying starts for me.
Yeah. How tricky are their strikers, though? I mean, this is what you're going to look at. Where the foul's going to come? Will they be in the middle or will they be out wide?
Danny Ings.
Yeah.
Is he tricky?
Could be anywhere, mate. He's Danny Ings.
Yeah, it's Leeds, isn't it? Gineppo. I think for me, they've got obviously Gineppo, Danny Ings, Shea Adams as well. That'll be interesting if he gets a game. I don't know if he's playing as regularly as he was early in the season, but obviously there was that link with Leeds, and I think a lot of us at the time really wanted Shea, so it'll be interesting to see if he plays. So they've got obviously James Ward-Prowse. They've got some good players. Aurel Romeu, who plays in a defensive midfield kind of role. But they've got some good players of Southampton. Obviously, I was going to have a chat about Danny Ings because I think me and Oscar were chatting about it with the Southampton lads. You could arguably say that there we go, match day vlogs, who we had on the other day as well, mentioned Nathan Redmond and Minamino, of course, as well. Make sure you check out match day vlogs anyway, guys, Southampton channel. So make sure you check them out after this, of course. But yeah, that's been a great signing for them as well. Minamino in from Liverpool. I think he's got 2 goals already, to be fair.
All right.
Yeah, so he's in there, obviously. Nathan Redmond as well, who can carry the ball well. So it will be interesting from that standpoint. But we were chatting with the guys, and I wanted to get your opinion. I feel it's definitely that last England spot could be between Danny Ings and Paddy Bamford. You know, there is a realistic chance that Paddy Bamford, you know, makes that jump to England. I know we've seen Gareth Southgate at a lot of the games recently. He was at the Wolves game. It'd be interesting to see if he's there Tuesday night. You know, he's got Danny Ings and Bamford. He's going to be able to see them in the flesh going up against each other. Who has the better game? Maybe gets that nod, you know? Because I think Harry Kane's in there. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's in there. You know, there's going to be a spot available, possibly. Obviously, Callum Wilson got injured. So for me, you're looking at Bamford and Danny Ings possibly. So, you know, Scott, obviously not a dog in the fight in that respect.
England fan, Scott, come on.
Yeah.
I hope Bamford does not get picked for England. I'll tell you why. I hope he doesn't. See, every time we have players go off on international duty, they either come back crap or they come back broke.
Well,
so no more internationals for a while, please. Like Calvin Phillips came back after playing for England and he forgot what bloody position he played. Yeah. And then Llorente went away with Spain, got broke. Koch went away with Germany, got broke. Rodrigo went away with Spain, got COVID. You know what I mean? No, Bamford, no. And I know there's a lot of people wanting them to go and play for the Republic of Ireland, but that is career suicide. Yeah. Career suicide. Don't do it.
I think it was pretty telling that when in the Championship, Mick McCarthy must have had about 10 voicemails off Mick McCarthy in his phone. Nah, you're all right, Mick. You're all right, mate. And Mick even made it very public. You know, he was talking about it in press conferences, saying, "I've tried to contact him," you know, and he still didn't bite. Whether or not that's because he's just no interest in that, and he was focusing. Or maybe deep down in his little bit, he thought, do you know what? One day I might get an England call. Which at the time he could have verbalised, would have gone, you're having a fucking laugh, Pat.
Yeah.
Totally honest.
Do you not think that Bammy's playing? I think Ings is in the England squad. Do you not? I think Kane and Ings go.
I think
Calvert-Lewin's a shoo-in.
But I don't know. Do you not think it's
inconsistent
around? And maybe Paddy's in with Calvert-Lewin.
I think that, yeah.
And he's in with Abrahams. There's a group of them. I think Ings goes. I think.
Yeah, go on, Phil. You're the statistical knowledge on this. You're the one who actually knows.
100% with Scott on this. I don't care if Southgate wants to take him. Leave him at home. Southgate is a shocking manager. Please don't break Paddy. Please.
I'm just always going to revel in that time that the ex-Leeds striker, David Healy, current manager of Liverpool Football Club, I just remember that time that he scored that goal to beat England. It was a wonderful day.
All right.
No, and then Dennis Wise wouldn't play him for ages because he was huffing.
Realistically, how do you Bamford into a team full of 12 right backs anyway? So
put Ayling in. Just put Ayling in.
Put Ayling in. Take all the right backs. Just leave Bamford.
I'm actually surprised Jack Harrison hasn't been involved in the England conversation.
I think that's who Southgate's watching.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Harrison.
Yeah. That'd be a good shout. I'm going to put you on the spot then. Phil, does Bamford make the plane? Does he go away with England?
I'd be very surprised if he did. Not because he doesn't deserve to. It's not the way England play. And like I said, I don't want Southgate to break him.
Yeah, true, lad.
Don't think so. Don't think that he will take Bamford, to be honest.
Dad?
No, I don't think he does.
Scott?
I think he's good enough. But I hope he doesn't. And if he does get picked, I'd be very proud of him, and I hope he does well. But I just hope he doesn't. Yeah, but I just don't think he's the type of striker Southgate wants. Not boring enough.
Yeah,
I think from my own standpoint as well, and I've made this point before, I think he gets a chance in one of the warm-up games, you know, that are coming round. But I think when the push comes to the shove, and I think he deserves that chance, but when the push comes to the shove, I don't think he'll make it. And I think a lot of it as well, and we've had fans on that have mentioned it that don't follow Leeds, is maybe the efficiency. You know, Danny Ings would probably clean up with the amount of chances sometimes Bamford gets. That's just my opinion. People won't agree because, you know, Bamford's doing amazing now, but there is some games where he misses gilt-edged chances, you know, whereas some of these others, like a Danny Ings, like a Calvert-Lewin, are probably sweeping them up. Do you know what I mean? So you could arguably say, I think there was a period of time where, at the start of the season, Bamford had the best stats for shots on goal or shots on target, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who had less than him, had double the amount of goals at that time, and that's sort of where it'll drop off, in my opinion, anyway. But I hope he does get the call up, and I'd love to see him there, even just to piss off the opposing fans, because they can't stand Bamford. Anyone that's had Bamford at their club, even if he wasn't given a fair chance of the whip, they just hate him. Crystal Palace fans hate him, and he hardly played. Do you know what I mean? So, it's a mad one. It's a mad one. I think it's maybe because
I think it's brilliant that he's proved everyone wrong this season already. I love it, because last year, like, Joe, I remember us sitting and saying about how, like, we need a different striker. He's not good enough. He can't do it in the Premier League. And then now it's like, I wouldn't drop him for Alfie or for Erling Haaland. Like, I honestly wouldn't. Although Haaland would probably score. Well, Bielsa wouldn't drop him for Haaland. Bielsa would drop for Haaland. But
I'm dropping him for Erling Haaland, believe me. He's on the way. He's on the way.
Bielsa had Haaland out in the wing. He'd have Haaland out in the wing. The 49ers will buy him.
I'm taking Haaland all day. So let's have a chat about how we see the game going then. Obviously, tomorrow night, can Leeds rest this little bit of a rut we're on? Two losses on the bounce now. Need a positive result. I want to listen. If we lose, we lose. Southampton are a decent side. Yes, they've not been in great form, but you know they got a point against a decent Chelsea side that have done well since Tuchel's come in. So they're on an upward trajectory. They have won games in the FA Cup as well, to be fair to them. They've had their own injury issues, but you know, coming back to a decent level. I think that, like I say, the only real issue is at right back, so it looks like Bednarak might play there. But they're a good side, you know, and arguably are in that same sort of position as us with the likes of Wolves, Southampton, that are, you know, not quite at Europe, but close to, maybe top half, you know, maybe just creeping it in the bottom half. But it's a testament to where we are as a football club in just our first season that we're in the same conversation as these, not the likes of Burnley, Brighton, West Brom, etc. But my main concern as well is, like, if we lose this game, social media is going to be an absolute nightmare. So I just want to win just for that, so that people can rest. This is why I kept mentioning the fact that Southampton have got 1 point out of a possible 21 and still are in 13th in the table. So there is no issues. We've seen someone in the comments earlier say we're going to get pulled into a relegation fight. I flashed it up. We're not. There's nothing to worry about. People saying don't jinx it. I'm that confident, guys. We could. I made the bold prediction the other night. I said we could probably not win another game all season and still stay up. But it is what it is.
Great shout, Joe. That's a great shout.
That's what I'm saying. Like 21 points, and Southampton have got 1, and they're still in 13th. I don't know what's going on with that.
Imagine if you're at Newcastle. Newcastle.
You need to be worried, don't you?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. We've got a Burnley fan with us as well who says, "What do you mean, mate? Burnley are Champions League quality side."
I would love to see them in the Champions League. Wouldn't it be playing? No, but playing like they do in the Champions League, like doing PSG.
Don't ruin the Champions League.
Ashley Barnes winner. It'd be amazing. I'd be
2 footers into like Neymar and Mbappe.
Exactly. It's so funny seeing Burnley do that.
Like what Chris Smalling did to Messi that time, where he came off like black eyes and a bust lip.
No.
It'd be great.
Burnley on the masses like that. That's not fair.
No,
Obviously, we'd be in the Champions League as well at this time, but I'd love Burnley to get in the Champions League. I mean,
they'd probably turn it down just on the fact that they play Brexit ball and have a 11 Englishmen playing. They'd probably go, yeah, Europe's not for us, mate. We don't fancy it.
Exactly not. We'll give our position to Spurs.
But I'm expecting a goal fest, if I'm being totally honest. I am. I'll save my prediction, but let's go to Phil. I don't know what SJ is doing. Phil, what are your thoughts? How do you think it's going to go? Where can we win the game, mate?
To be honest, a weird thing that I'm looking forward to is obviously since all the drama with the pitch, every time we played on this pitch, whether it was the old pitch or the new pitch, it's been pissing it down in Yorkshire. This is the first time I've seen sun before a Leeds game all season. I want to see what the pitch is like. I want to see how we can actually play football without people falling over every 5 seconds. So given the style of football both teams play tomorrow night, I reckon we could be in for a lot of goals from both sides. To be honest, I don't want to say the sentence, I don't care if we lose, because that sounds rubbish. I do care if we lose, but anyone that thinks we're getting relegated now, I just don't understand. We are statistically one of the best performing newly promoted sides in the history of the Premier League.
What a lie.
So realistically, we aren't going down. Would I rather watch us play that horrible excuse of a game of football that Wolves played the other night and stay up like that? Or would I rather see us play like Big Sam? No, I don't care if we lose. I want to see us play like we did in the first. To be honest, the whole Wolves game, I thought we were fantastic. I don't think we are in a rut. I think the Arsenal game was bad. The first hour was bad.
Yeah,
the last half an hour, we were back to normal. And before the Arsenal game, we won games. Like the Everton game that we did lose, we didn't deserve to lose that game either.
Oh, no, we didn't. No.
I don't care if we end up playing fantastic football and we just lose a game because of stupid, shitty decisions or Patrick Bamford getting caught offside by his fingernail or something twatting Melier's head off a post. Like, I don't care. As long as we play well, the individuals play well, the collective plays well, and we don't get the result, I'd take a draw. I'd like to win. I would. But if we draw, if we lose, as long as we play well, it's more about the long-term goal of the club and style of play being implemented on the other teams in this country. Southampton are the only other team we haven't played yet. They haven't been on the receiving end of what we're going to give them for 90 minutes. Whether that comes out well for them and they win, okay. But let's try and give them what we've given to Newcastle twice. Let's try and give them what we have given to Wolves twice. And if you look at Newcastle and Wolves, did we play that different in the two games comparatively? Like, we got 0 points from Wolves, we got 6 from Newcastle. I'd say we played better against Wolves than we did against Newcastle.
Especially the second game.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I agree. Great points, mate, Phil. Great points. You're right. We're not, from a points point of view, you know, we've picked up 0 points in the last 2. But like you say, we're not in a rut. I agree. And I think this is where, when I speak about them fine margins of where we're at and where we just need to add that little sprinkles of quality in, that they're the sort of games, Everton, Wolves, that we win next year, that we then, you know, we're closer to Europe. Because you're right, we shouldn't. I know people saying we at least deserved a point against Everton. We should have fucking won against Everton for me. Yeah, we should have had 3, which I know sounds mad considering, you know, the scoreline, but we definitely should have, not even a point, we should have won the game. You know, the keeper, I forget his name now, had an absolute worldie and then went and had a stinker against Scum the week after, didn't he? So it's just sort of,
he literally only played well against us. He is generally pretty shit.
Yeah, it's always the case, mate. It's always the case, isn't it? But yeah, so what did you give me a score prediction? You didn't, did you, Phil? What were you going with?
Mate, I don't even want to give one. It could be 4-3. It could be 1-0. Like, it genuinely could go either way. I don't care what the score is. I just want to see an entertaining game. I want to sit here with 3 beers and just enjoy getting drunk on the football, but getting drunk on my beers as well. I want to enjoy myself. As long as I enjoy the game and I'm not sitting here just pacing. I will be pacing anyway, but as long as I'm not pacing around, screaming at my telly, wanting to shout and try not to swear in front of my 4-year-old, as long as that doesn't happen, I don't care.
Yeah, I love that. Do you know? And I can tell that Phil looks at the game from a statistical point of view, because the only time I ever hear people say they don't want to give predictions is when I listen to All Stats, Aren't We? And they've got very much the same mindset of like, don't want to give predictions. It's pointless. Don't like giving them. We're just going to talk about how we expect the game to unfold. So, yeah, it's great, mate. That's it. Phil just doesn't give predictions from this point moving.
There's no point tomorrow because it could be anything.
Yeah.
If you would have taken a prediction from me for the last game against Wolves, I would have said I expected us to nick it 1-0. I thought it would be the other way around. I thought we'd get revenge, but unfortunately not. No.
Lad, let us know, how do you expect this one to go, brother?
Well, I'm kind of a bit worried because of that stat that Southampton average is like, 1 point in the past 9 games? You know, it's such a Leeds thing to go and lose to them. But no, I'll be positive about it. I think we will win. There could be a few goals. I think it will be a, 3-1 win to Leeds.
Nice. Dad?
We need a clean sheet for Melier.
Yeah, we do, don't we? I don't think it's coming tomorrow, though. I've got a feeling there is going to be goals. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell, yeah, that's that.
Share the record with Joe Hart.
Oh, let's get him a clean sheet. That would be amazing.
Let's just like Allardyce it and just get a 0-0 draw.
Never Allardyce it, ever.
Yeah, just for the purpose of this record, maybe.
Yeah. Do it. Dad, what are you saying?
It's I'm with you, Joe. I reckon this is probably going to be one of the best games in the Premiership. Tomorrow, and I've probably jinxed it, but I'm going out there, and I'm nervous about it because I think I know it's obvious, but I think it's going to be high scoring and it'll be bang, 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 end to end. And it makes me feel that I reckon we might outplay Southampton over the 90. And I think we might just nick it, and I'm going 4-3.
I would love that. I mean, I do. It's going to be like when, like Carl Walker's mentioned before, when we played City, and he said it was like a basketball game. It's going to be a little bit like that. I do agree. All depends on how Southampton set up, and if, because I was listening to All Stats, Aren't We, earlier, because I like to listen to those guys just to get the juices flowing. They know a lot more than me. And the guy, the Southampton fan they had on, said he thinks that Rav might go with a more conservative approach, possibly. But I don't know. It's like Phil said, it's the first time they've played us. Maybe he goes and tries to adopt and put his stamp on it, and go all out. And I expect that. And Leeds are always going to do what they're going to do, and I think it's just going to be a great game for the neutral as well. It's going to be a fantastic game to watch for me. It's going to be much better than that Leeds Wolves one, for example, or Leeds Burnley or whatever. It's just going to be end to end for me. Mine's 3-2. I said that yesterday. I think I don't see either team getting away from one another. I don't see a 4-1 or a 3-1. Just my opinion. I think it'll be tight in terms of there'll be one goal in it, but I think there might be a goal fest. Obviously, Danny, great striker. Bamford, great striker. Both banging them in, for fun. So we'll have to wait and see. Scott,
I have triple captain Patrick Bamford. I need a fucking goal. I need a goal.
Yeah, I did as well, to be fair. I very rarely play that game, though. It's too confusing for me because of all the different things. Bench boost, I just like the old school one where you just pick a team and have free transfer.
I haven't got enough time in the day for that, man.
No, you get people that are like, triple cut, bench boost, all this. I'm like, nah, it's too hard for me. Scott, what are we going for tomorrow, buddy? Are you with us? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I think my Bluetooth and my Wi-Fi were the ones having the heart attack today, I think. So, yeah. I think Dad's on to something with the 4-3. But again, I'm certainly not coming out the other end of that one. I think, honestly, see with it being Melier's sort of last game before he's 21, and the fact that we haven't won on our last 2 games, but we've been playing, our last 7 games, We have played consistently well. We've played the same football in every game. Now, the Arsenal match, we got the win knocked out of us early on, and it took a while for us to get into it, but we ended up getting into it.
Yeah.
Even the Everton match, like, we should have won that. We definitely should have. We should have absolutely romped Wolves. The whole offside thing, and I don't get why we're shooting straight at goalies, but when you're in the heat of the moment, you shoot where you shoot. You know, if the keeper happens to be standing 2 feet in front of you and you head that ball 2 feet in front of you, well, then you're an idiot. But anyway, I honestly can see us winning 3-0. I can see us doing that if we play the way we have been playing. If the defensive lineup is the same as what it was before Arsenal, again, all F's, buts, and maybes. But you know, I'm certainly going to run this through FIFA and see where we come out there. I'm going to see how Championship Manager fares, and I'll make an informed decision based on those. But no, we can win this 3-0. Alternatively, we can get stuffed 6 or 7. But I think we're going to win 3. I really do. I think we're going to win by 3 goals.
It would be nice as well if we were to win, which I think we can. You know, it's one of them. I think we can win every game, though. That we would just straight away leapfrog Wolves and Arsenal that have just beat us and move back into the top half of the table. It'd just be class, you know.
And then Villa at the weekend as well. That establishes us up in the top half.
With Southampton's form, if we go 4-0 up, if we go that high up, you know, if we get that big a gap, I'm telling you what, it could be how that team responds to getting battered when they go 3-0, 4-0 down.
I want 9.
You mentioning it. Do you know what? We've gone through a whole hour and 17 minutes without mentioning it. The reason I do that is because when we had the Southampton fans, I think we mentioned it after about 2 minutes, and they were like, "Oh, it only took 2 minutes." It took us an hour and 17, but we had to get it in at some point. But yeah. I mean, it'd be amazing.
I wonder what the odds are for Leeds to win 9-0. Yeah. What? I'm going to check the odds on it. That'd be worth a shout. Leeds to win 9-0.
I think the record's 9, innit? 9. Yeah. I just get 10, man, and then you break the record, you know? 10-0.
We're not going to 9.
Record for Melier. But it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game for us Leeds fans, as it always is. Great to watch. It's going to be great for the neutral. I'm really excited. And like you say, it's the last team we've yet to play, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Before we do finish, Scott, talk to us about Backyard TV, brother.
Yeah, Backyard TV. Just a rather foul-mouthed Northern Irish man giving you his views on Leeds. Usually pre-match and post-match reactions. If you are of a weak constitution, don't watch it.
Brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, hey, look, you know us, we're there every weekday, waking you up with the only Leeds United breakfast show on demand, so you don't have to watch it on a morning, but Monday to Friday, we're there talking all things Leeds. The Leeds fan universe comes together. Very positive show, would you say? Guys?
Do you know what? I just noticed in the background.
Do you like the money in the bank case?
I just noticed, yeah.
Money in the bank?
Yeah, I'm going to WrestleMania, baby. Here we go.
The first thing I do every morning is I get up, I put my jammies on, I go to the toilet to take my morning poop, and I put yous on the phone so I can listen to it.
I thought you were going to say that you would like choke slam the Undertaker through a ring every morning or something.
Great. Nah, honestly, both great. All 3 years, as in these creators are great folks as well, and also, great content creators. And Phil, debut, how was it, mate? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, very much so. I did enjoy it. I'm hoping to be back on again maybe tomorrow night or next week or whenever you'll have me. I'm always available.
Good, we're gonna see a lot more of Phil. If Phil have us, that's why I put him on spot on live TV, so he couldn't get out of it.
Was it good for you, Phil? Was it good for you?
I've had it more gentle. I'll put it that way.
Great. Honestly, guys, great laugh as always. Great. Guys, tomorrow, kickoffs at 6 o'clock. So 5 p.m. we'll have your live post-match reaction. Quarter to 6 will be the watch-along. We'll then be live after the game with live post-match reaction, which hopefully Phil will jump on with myself and Oscar. And then we'll have your player ratings as well to look forward to, which we like to do. And then Wednesday, it's ladies' night again. We will have the girls back.
What
Tash,
show that is, by the way. That is a
good,
great
Oh, they were great. They were great.
yeah.
show. You and Oscar have done the job.
Yeah, well, I read the comments, bro, and it were like P45 for Joe and Oscar, game over. So, yeah, that'll be Vic, Tash, Lucy, and Rhiannon will be back. It's a weekly show. Leeds United
All
ladies.
4 have more knowledge than Karen Carney. Might I add? All 4 of them.
we, to be fair, we wanted to go with non-Cox, but they wouldn't have it. They changed it. I think that should have been this, as in non-Robin Cock, non-Cox, but they changed it to Leeds United ladies in the
Peacock, so I was thinking something to do with Peacock.
No. But anyway, they were Leeds United ladies. Bit boring, but there you go. So make sure you check out for that on Wednesday as well. And then, Thursday will be Opposition Villa opposition preview, Friday, big match preview, etc. Always content coming out. Keep it locked to All Leeds TV. I'm going to leave you now. Have a nice evening, guys, and we will see you tomorrow.